when you are a natural giver, then you tend to give a little bit more than what you have. And I remember this got so solid in my brain because I can explicitly remember times when my parents did the exact same thing. My parents, I always said, would give the shirt off your back even if they hardly had anything. And yet, a very admirable trait. But the challenge is they weren't taking care of their own at the same time. Think about it like when you get on an airplane and they tell you put your oxygen mask on first, then your child's, right? It's because you're no good if you're dead if you're not getting oxygen, right? So take care of yourself so then you can take care of the child. And our finances work the exact same way. Hey everybody, Julie Murphy here, and we are going to talk about you're a financial giver. You got to watch this video because I'll bet in times of volatility and when things are contracting and squeezing, you're triggering all your emotions about like shoulda, woulda, coulda. But before I do that, be sure to hit that subscribe, like, and notification bell. And please share this because it is time for all of us to plug the holes of our financial leaky containers. What do I mean by that? Years ago, I was told by one of my teachers, this had to be 20 years ago, she had said, this person that you love in your life is actually staying in the marriage that they're in because you've made their marriage tolerable. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm just financially trying to help them out because money is my mastery. And so I was able to always generate cash coming in no matter what I did. That's just who I am. It's my wiring. And when you are a natural giver, then you tend to give a little bit more than what you have. And I remember this got so solid in my brain because I can explicitly remember times when my parents did the exact same thing. My parents, I always said, would give the shirt off your back even if they hardly had anything. And yet, a very admirable trait. But the challenge is they weren't taking care of their own at the same time. Think about it like when you get on an airplane and they tell you put your oxygen mask on first, then your child's, right? It's because you're no good if you're dead if you're not getting oxygen, right? So take care of yourself so then you can take care of the child. And our finances work the exact same way. And when we have markets like we have today, where they are whipsawing up and down, up and down, up and down, and then you have media on top of that that's going, whoo, watch this and watch that, watch this and watch that. All fear-based communication, which then triggers all of your blame, shame, guilt, and judgment around money. And what we need to start to realize is what actually is causing this activation of those emotions. Because when you stay in a heightened sense of emotion, there is absolutely no way for you to manifest the life that you want to create. And often that comes from the fact that you put yourself in situations, especially financial givers, that create scarcity. But you're doing these behaviors that society or traditional religions have taught you that, oh, you're supposed to give to your neighbor. You're supposed to do these. And then when you do that and you're like, I don't understand why it's not working out. Well, it's not working out because you're triggering your amygdala. You're triggering all the things that actually create you not creating the life that you absolutely love. It's because your whole system contracts because you're triggering that rejection or trauma that you had before age 7 in your subconscious mind. And so what we need to do is eliminate or create a safer container, maybe not full eliminating, by doing what I call an and not an or. So let me walk you through some of this. This is about help that person and help yourself. Give to that person and give something to yourself that's something you desire. So years ago, what I had decided, I have 11 brothers and sisters. I today sit with 36 nieces and nephews. There's tons of them, right? There's always a need for something. Well, when you're a huge giver, well, that's an energy, right? That's the energy that you're putting out there. So then, because that's what you're putting out there, that's what keeps knocking at your door. Keeps knocking at your door. Hey, I need some. Hey, I need some. Hey, I need some. If you've ever met anyone at the end of their life, it's actually really kind of sad. Um, a lot of their friends and their family have passed away. And do you know the only phone calls that they get and the only mail that they get in the mail is from all these charities just wanting their money before they're dead? It's actually really disheartening. I had a woman, bless her heart, she has now passed away. Her name is Dorothy Kennedy. Loved her dearly. Way before her time. She became an executive way before women ever wore pants. And it was early on in my career. She's probably been gone 20 years now. And she would tell me about how all these family members just had their hand out ready to give, for her to give, because she was a huge giver. She worked her way up, and all she did all those years was try to prove that she was enough being a woman, because she put up with so much stuff on the corporate level from her family, from not having kids and being single and an old maid. Like, that was the wrong version. And then at the end of her life, she was very unsettled. She was very frustrated with the fact that she worked so hard all those years and gave to so many people and so many corporations and broke down so many barriers for women, that the only time her phone rang and the only time that people wanted to talk to her was to figure out how much of her money she was going to give them. Now, I now see this years and years later, and being a huge giver myself, that we train people how to treat us financially. I know, to you givers, that's a really hard pill to swallow. I get that on every level. It is a hard pill to swallow, but it's super important for you to realize that you're in charge of the direction. So whatever you're putting out there from your thoughts, from your words, and your feelings, that's creating the reality. So I would urge each of you who is a huge giver out there to take a look at, how can you turn that into an and? So if I'm going to do this, not that you want tit for tat. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if it, because it doesn't have to necessarily come from that person. It could be that I've always wanted to travel to this place. Well, I'm going to save for that and I'm going to help other people. But I'm not going to do it at my cost. I'm not going to struggle to pay my stuff when I'm helping somebody else out. It's an and, not an or. So challenge yourself to take a look and drill down as to, where am I not showing up with the and statement instead of an or statement? Because when we're in times like we are right now, there's a lot of regrets. Like, oh my God, I shouldn't have given that money to that person. Oh my God, why didn't I insulate myself a little bit more? Why don't I have more of my savings account? Because now looks like we might go into recession and this inflation and it could give me a headache. And whatever the economic environment is at the time doesn't seem to bother us so much when everything's going up, when everything's not being turned over and infrastructure's changing like it is as the time that I'm making this video. But no matter what kind of environment we're in right now, you can actually choose how you're going to create space for yourself, to insulate yourself, and to create that and statement and not an or. Because do the right thing for the business and do what's right for you. Do the right thing for your family and do what's right for you individually. And I will say, when you are a huge giver, the one piece that is often left out is you even loving yourself enough to even map out, what is your and. So I would encourage you, go to juliemurphy.com. I have all kinds of blogs that are written on how you get to this place, or look at some of my other videos here on my YouTube channel, because I have all these tips to get you to start thinking about the dream life that you want to have. Because if you're in the or standpoint, that also tells me that you stop dreaming the dream. No matter what age, no matter what financial status you're in, if you're doing the giving and you feel like there's lack somewhere else for you, it's because you forgot the word and it's time to put you as a part of that. Again, Go to juliemurphy.com, come into our financial community to not only financials, but it's life planning. It's getting you to launch your life into a life that you absolutely love because you deserve it. And our community is doing that all the time. That's why I interview people on Lives That Thrive. And if you're one of those people that my videos have helped, let me know because I'll pull you on. I want to talk about it because I think the more we talk about people flourishing and thriving and creating a life that they love from their heart and their soul, the more people then will give themselves permission to actually do the same. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.